Hey everyone, Groovy here. Today I'm just gonna go over my, 2-year review of the Stay Black label, um, the components I use, why I prefer them, and some basic maintenance practices. So I'm just gonna jump right into it, and feel free if you have any questions. I use it as a daily commuter, taken it off road a few times, but I don't necessarily recommend that. Um, Taken it to the track before. I've done long rides, short rides, anything in between. So I'm just gonna jump right into it. I'm sitting on the floor, so it's gonna be a little awkward, but here we go. So I chose to go with the Shram Omnium crankset, mostly based on good reviews. It's real stiff. I've changed out the chainring before. Right now the gear ratio is at a 48-15, which has been phenomenal. You do have to play around with it and see what you like, but all in all, perfect ratio for myself. If you go any bigger, it does get pretty hard to ride those long distances. I actually just swapped out the chain this week. I had a SRAM for a little over 2 years. I actually kind of messed up when I went to service it, and I somehow broke the master link, or in their case, the power link. But in this new chain, I just started getting into waxing chains, so I don't know how I feel about it yet. The wheel set is the SR 31 bolt. Great wheel set. I've had it for 2 years. This is only the second pair of tires that I've had with it. I just switched to the Schwalbe's. I was running the gator skins for about a year and a half, the hard shell gator skin, and I liked them because people told me that they were good tires. They are good tires, but in my brief stint with my own bicycle maintenance over the past 2 years, I found that the hard shells are so incredibly difficult to maintain and take off. And some people say it's the rim, some people say it's the tire, some people say it's the mechanic. I mean, all of them are correct, but I prefer to have that Kevlar lining. I've drawn a blank as to if this one does, but where I'm currently at, you're gonna get flats from sand spurs and all sorts of things like that. But these tires have been great. They're a little slicker, but the rolling resistance is great. I had to switch out the rear axle bolts because I lost one when I tried to take it off-road. Like I said, I don't recommend it. I mean, I do, but I don't. It's fun, but just be careful. With this wheel set, I got it online, offline, whichever you prefer, and I highly recommend, if you get a wheel set not from a bike dealer, take it in to get trued, or if you can true it yourself, true it, because they're gonna come with the reflectors and the wheel is gonna be a little off. The frame itself is aluminum. I like it. It's lightweight. I mean, incredibly lightweight. The bike doesn't have a whole lot on it, so it's gonna be light regardless. But the thing that I didn't realize about aluminum is it, comparable to steel, it doesn't absorb as much force, so you feel a little more, which is expected. The fork is carbon fiber. I don't know enough about carbon fiber, but I like the fork. It looks good. It's all black. Let's see. The only real pain that I experienced with this bike is the diameter of the seat post. It's a 31.8, and it proved to be incredibly difficult for me to find one that was perfect for me. I've had the same seat post. It's probably the heaviest part of the bike, which is crazy to me. The saddle, I took off my old bike, which was a Moto Bacane, and I just like it. I don't have carbon fiber rails. It's real simple and basic. But all things aside, I've gotten away from the cliches of cycling. I always thought I had to have a jersey or, you know, bibs or things like that, but it's all what you want to do with it. I mean, I could preach to the choir or whatever, but back into the review. The past 2 years, I mean, I've ridden it almost every day. Virtually no hiccups. The wheels have been great. The crankset is, the power that you're producing is just amazing. The handlebars I originally had were Ordinate Aero bars. I liked them, didn't know much about handlebars when I got them, but I upgraded about maybe a year ago to an Abaton carbon fiber handlebar. I saw it, looked flashy. I'm like, oh, that looks cool. I'll give it a go. I got the package and it felt like nothing was in there. They're great. I use, since it's real humid where I'm at right now, I use lizard skin bar tape. I was experiencing like a bleeding on the handlebars essentially with cork tape. So, I mean, I paid extra money for it. And the stem is actually, it's kind of a funny story. I bought a Ritchie stem. It was like the WCS or something like that. And I actually over torqued on the bolts and snapped it. So it was kind of a waste, and I haven't, you know, taken the steps to repair it. But this Easton stem, I found by chance it was like $5 at a bike shop. That's like, yeah, all right, you can have $5. Perfect, worked out, and I love it. Perfect length. It took me 2 years to kind of really refine and get everything to where I felt comfortable and fast, and it was just an enjoyable ride. And the pedals, I mean, I used to be a big mountain biker, but where I'm at now doesn't really apply. So I have the newest version of the Time A-Tech, and I have 2 bikes, so my shoes are universal, both have the same pedals and everything. I like them, they're comfortable. And some people say, oh, well, you need the road pedals or whatever. I'm like, I don't like the road pedals, I feel like a weirdo. So I stick true to what I like, what I feel comfortable with, what I like to ride, and how I like to ride. All in all, this bike has been phenomenal. I'm sure you guys can see that I have a little saddle bag or saddle pouch or saddle sack. I never really used to ride with one, pretty minimal, but when I go on longer rides or don't feel like carrying a bag or anything like that, it's nice to have. I carry random stuff in there, like pocket knife, you know, other tools, just things like that. So if you have any questions about any of the components or anything like that, don't feel free to shoot me a line essentially, but hope this was helpful. Peace.